What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning into my channel, Jace's Own World. Once again, I got another part for my MK7 GTI over here. It's on jack stands right now. The wheels and tires are off right now because I'm going to be doing some things to the brakes. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. And so let's get right into this little install that I'm going to be doing on my MK7 GTI. Okay, as you saw on the photo of this video, I'm going to be doing some stainless steel brake lines. And these stainless steel brake lines are from ECS Tuning, as you can see right there. Going to be installing them on the front and the rear of my MK7 GTI. And this is just in preparation. All of this stuff I'm doing in preparation before I put the new motor in the car, because it's just one less thing off the checklist. So let's get right to that. I got the stainless steel red ones. I think they come in different colors too, but I chose the red ones, and it comes with all the hardware here. I've never done this job on any car before, but I went ahead and checked to see what I'm going to need as far as tools. Obviously, you're going to need some gloves if you want to go that route. Some of you don't, some of you do. Some glasses. I always wear, or I try to always wear glasses when I do stuff. Little pick, just in case you need that. I got my little magnet tool. You don't really need that, but I like using that. And then you got your 1/4 inch ratchet right here. Some of you might want to use a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch. I don't recommend 1/2 inch because it's so big, but 1/4 inch. And then the socket I have is an 11 millimeter, as you can see right there. And then an extension just in case. And then you got your other 11 millimeter open end wrench right here. So those are the tools that you're going to need for this job. Obviously, you don't need them all, but if you want to, go ahead and pick these tools. Let's get right into the install of the stainless steel brake lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just one side of the car. I'm going to do the front driver's side, and the fronts are going to be exactly the same. The rears are going to be exactly the same as the rears. Yeah, I'm just going to show you one side so that you're not seeing me. It's just too much of a video, kind of boring. So you're just going to see me do it one side here, and then I will button up the video and show you all 4 corners of what I did at the end. So let's get right to the install of the front driver's side stainless steel brake line. All right, I'm in the wheel well now, and there's a couple things that you're going to have to look at. So you got your middle clip right here, which has a clip, and the kit does come with these clips right inside there. So you got this little clip that you're going to need to unclip. This is your brake line, and you know it's the brake line because the hose is going into the caliper here. So you got that clip right there, and then on the back side here, right there, you got your 11 mil bolt right there. You're going to need to undo, and then you follow the line over here, and then you got one more. Let me see if I can get in there. One more right here, and this one also has a clip, so you got 2 clips on the front here, and then you got an 11 millimeter nut right there that you're going to need to remove. So those are the things that you're going to need to remove the actual brake line. Make sure that you have something underneath right here. I put a cardboard because when you unclip those, you're possibly going to have some drippage of some brake fluid. So you do not want to get that on the floor of wherever you're working on. Just try to keep it as clean as you can. And I also removed the cap to the brake fluid reservoir up there, just so that everything is, you know, you're letting the pressure out of the system. So let's go ahead and remove that.
And it shouldn't be too hard to remove any of these bolts here, because they're, they're pretty loose. So as you can see, you got a bunch of brake fluid coming out. So I'm just going to loosen that and actually retighten this like that. You got a lot of brake fluid coming out there. I'm going to do some last here.
Okay, the brake line, the OEM brake line is removed. Now I got a lot of brake fluid coming out. You're gonna have a lot of brake fluid coming out. So you're gonna want to make sure, like I said, that you have stuff that's gonna catch that so it doesn't get all over the floor. And some rags, which I'm gonna grab real quick. But regarding these little clips right here, they're on there very tight. And so instead of this little pick, I used a flathead screwdriver and I just, you know, wiggled and wiggled and wiggled and got it out. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses because they will pop out pretty extensively. This one I just went like this and pressed it up against that, which I'm gonna reform right there. But yeah, once those are out, then you remove the 11mm bolt and the whole brake line just comes out. So now you're just going to get your stainless steel brake line and pop it into place. But yeah, it's actually pretty simple. You just need to make sure that you're staying clean and getting some rags. So I'm going to get some rags right now, clean this up, and then get to the installation of the new brake line here. I am all ready to install the new brake line. So to install the new brake line, you're going to need obviously your new brake line here. As far as the hardware is concerned, you have one bolt that's going to go on the back of the caliper here. With that bolt, you're going to have two washers, installing that. And then you're going to have two new clips. And all of this hardware comes in the ECS tuning package. So let's get right to the installation of all of this right now. Okay, take note on the old brake line and the new brake line. When you're trying to get this in place, there is a flat side right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a flat side and then the rest is circular. You're gonna put this in like this and you're gonna be like, why isn't it fitting in? Well, that flat side needs to go around the little flat side right there. And then from there, you can actually put the clip in like so. Get a little tool if you need to. Just to making sure that it's all the way in there. And that's it, guys. That's how you get the clip into place. Making sure that this flat end right here is going to the caliper and this open end right here is going to this part here because you still have the bolt on this end. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And you can also tell too, because this also has the flat end too and also the place for the clip up here. So let's go ahead and get both of these sides installed here. All right, I got the driver's side, let me fix this here, stainless steel brake line on. Took me a bit because I didn't really know the sequence on what to do. First, I started off with clipping the middle end first and then doing this side and then trying to get this side. But when these two were clipped in, this one was very difficult to get in, and it's all because of that flat side that is on this little thing right here to slide into this bracket. That one has a flat side to the bracket and this one has a flat side to the bracket. So that one was being very difficult because these lines, they don't like twist or anything. They're stainless steel inside the rubber hose, so they're hard to twist, all right? So I decided to take it all apart, and then I decided to put this one in first, which worked, and then clip the middle in and then get this one in. Well, when these two were clipped in, this one was being difficult to get in because it's hard to twist. So I was like, okay, what's going on? So I actually switched the line because I didn't know if they were like side specific. So I don't know if this one was for the driver's side and the other one is for the passenger side. And they both seem to be about the same. So I was stumped. Well, while I was trying to figure it out, I finally realized that this piece let me get this new one right here. This piece right here, it twists, it turns. So I realized, well, crap, if that turns, then what I should do is mount this one up first, because this one's the most difficult one. Mount that one up first, and then this one up, and these two are much easier to get in when this middle piece isn't in already with the little clip. So that's what I did. I mounted this up first, then I mounted the caliper one up second, and then this way I was able to twist this little middle piece right here to line up the flat side to get it into it and then clip it in. And it was really simple. So now I know the process. So what you want to do is you want to line this one up first. I highly recommend. And then you line the caliper up second, and then you twist this part right here to where it lines up with the flat piece in this bracket. Put it in, put the clip in, and you're all set to go. And then one of the last things to do is to tighten up the bolts on each end, obviously. And then I'm going to actually move the steering wheel to make sure that the line doesn't get in the way of anything and nothing gets in the way of the line so that it punctures the line. So I'm going to do that right now. Oh, and also make sure that your wheel speed sensor is clipped into the right spot so it's not in the way. So everything is up. So let me go ahead and turn the wheel. I'm going to turn it to the left first. All the way to the left. Check. It looks like nothing is binding on the line. Now I'm going to turn it all the way to the right. That's all the way to the right. And nothing is binding on the line. So everything is good. Get that center again. Right there. Everything is good to go on that. And the brake line is in. So now I'm going to do each side. I'm going to tackle the passenger front side. I'm going to tackle the rear. And at the end of this video, I'll show you all of it. But all right, I got all of the wheel wells done with the stainless steel braided brake lines. Here's the front driver's side. Here's the rear driver's side. Got it like right there. Here's the rear passenger side. Got them right there. And the front passenger side, got them right there. Everything's good. So the last thing I need to do is to bleed the brakes. Do not go driving after you do this job unless you've bled the brakes. I'm assuming if you're doing this job, you know that. But for those of you who don't know that, I guess, make sure you bleed the brakes. You can either do it the two-person way, which is the old school way, or you can do it with a brake bleeder, which I'm about to do right now. There's my brake bleeder. That way you don't have to, depress the brake pedal or have two people working on the job. You just fill this with fluid, connect this to your brake reservoir right there, pump it up to a certain PSI, and then you go around to each wheel and bleed the brakes. Usually you go furthest from the master cylinder first, and then work your way up to the closest to the master cylinder. So most likely on this car, I really don't know the sequence, but I'm gonna start with the rear passenger, and then I'm gonna go to the rear driver, and then the front passenger, and then the front driver. And that's the sequence that I'm gonna do it on this car. Done it before, it was no issue, and that's the exact sequence that I followed. So you can do it that way or the two-person way, but make sure you bleed the brakes before you do that, because if you go driving, you're not gonna have any brakes if you don't bleed your brakes. So bleed your brakes. All right, I'm not gonna show bleeding the brakes on this video. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I will say, once I have bled the brakes, I'm going to clean up the wheel well, make sure that there's no grime or anything like that. Make sure it's just, clean each wheel well, and then I'm gonna put my wheels back on, and that's gonna be it. So that's going to be the end of this ECS tuning, stainless steel braided brake lines. I recommend them. Once I found out that middle on the front twist, it was so easy. The rear obviously is a little tighter space, but it's no big deal. Pretty easy job once you figure it out. Honestly, just a few tools and you're good to go. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. That's how you do the job on a Mark 7 GTI and pretty much any other car, just with a couple different tools here and there, but it's going to be the same for most vehicles. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope you like it. Go ahead and send a like, a subscribe, and a share. Hit that notification bell, and let's get this channel rolling. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more to this vehicle. I got a wave track LSD coming soon and a new engine coming soon. So yeah, stay tuned on my channel and you will be able to check all of that out. I'm going to record everything. All right, guys, until the next video, peace.